Well, I don't have to really technically, but I'll have to worry about it after. Got it? You guys want to be anonymous today or?
Oh, we don't want to.
Get to be busy now. Okay. Yeah. But oh, gee, Vice, hang on. Okay, I think it's 1:00. We'll be calling the meeting to order of the Department on Aging Advisory Board for March 26th. And if everybody looks at you can follow the agenda, or if you have a copy, you can follow it. First order of business is call to order and roll call.
All right, no Dylan, so you get me. Carol Zawacki. Gloria Bortnichak. Julie Hackett. Kathy Burr. Casey Bolton. Ross Amo.
Here.
Alan Dickerson.
Here.
Chris Peoples. He's here in spirit.
Went to the restroom.
Jeff DeCenzo. Rob Trevino.
Here.
Dave Ungst.
Here.
Terry Collins.
Here.
Ralph Tillotson.
Here.
Julie Weatherby. Bert Fenby. That's your group.
Okay, we did the roll call where I'm going to introduce Kathy here. Kathy Burr is a brand new board member. This will be her first meeting. And I have not met you, so if you want to say hello to everybody, you're welcome to do so.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Kathy Burr. I am recently retired from the Washtenaw Department of Health and Human Services. I was a state employee for 35 years. Last 13 years, I was on the assistant payment side, working as a supervisor to help process applications for Medicaid and long-term care and things like that. So I was looking for something to do with those skills after I retired, and I came across the vacancy and I thought it might be a good fit. So I appreciate the opportunity and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's very, very pleasurable to have you. Okay, and we're still going to stay on the roll call. I'm turning this over to Terry.
Before I make an introduction here, I just, for those of you who don't know, this will be my last meeting on this board. I'm going to a different board. I'll be chairing a different board. I just want everybody to know that it's been both a joy and an honor to serve on this committee. The time that I have, I think the organization, department, and this board do an absolutely fantastic job for the senior citizens of Lenawee County. So I want to congratulate you, Terry, and your department, all the employees. I think you have done a absolutely fantastic job. Having said that, I'll introduce Commissioner Dave Uxt. He is another commissioner on the Board of Commissioners from District 3. He will be replacing me on this board. I'll steal a little of his thunder. Dave is was a longtime member of the Lenawee County Sheriff, retired as a lieutenant, and he was the director of the 911 system for Lenawee County. He is now the fire chief for Addison, and he'll be taking care of me on this board. Dave, anything you want to say?
Thank you, Terry. You covered that pretty well, and I'm happy to be here, happy to serve on this committee. I've heard nothing but good about it, and that's a good place to start, is in a good position. Terry has done a fantastic job. He serves a lot of committees. He carries a heavy load for the county commissioners, and I'm just trying to step up a little bit and help out where I can.
Dave, thank you. You're welcome here.
Thank you.
Terry, we're all going to miss you. And you've done a wonderful job as well. I have to tell you that. You're always great to be around. So good luck, and stop by every now and then.
Do that.
Okay. All right. Now I'll be looking for you again here, Terry, because we're right down to approval of the minutes. And I always rely on you to help me do that.
If there are any additions or corrections to the minutes, I'll move they be accepted as submitted.
In support.
Have it support. Any discussion at all? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Great. Those minutes and Christine. All right.
Chairman?
Russ,
Sorry, go ahead.
I missed the roll call for a phone call, but I'm here.
We got you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Did he-
You're hard to miss, you know. Chris, how are you? Welcome. She will explain why she's here, I think. Right ahead.
She may explain why she's here, but I'll tell you what you should think she's here for.
Okay, go ahead.
Chris is our Tecumseh Center Director, which is our second largest center. A few months ago, and maybe a year ago, I don't know, time flies when I'm having fun. Turi came and shared with us a little bit about life at the senior center. And so we have invited Chris back to share a little bit about what's happening at her center and what life looks like in Tecumseh.
Okay, thank you all for allowing me to be here to speak on behalf of my center. It's had an exceptional, adaptable year. I actually average probably 20 to 25 seniors, depending on the day. Their favorite activity is actually bingo, which is on Monday. Don't play with their bingo or their time. It actually has to start on time. They actually love their cards, activity, crafts, which I usually show them. They love outer Gloria. Don't mess with their bingo. They love their bingo. They actually get involved and actually really are showing interest in community service. At Christmas time, they did collected 100 cake kits and were involved with the food pantry at the Tecumseh Methodist Church. I got at least 15 participants to hand out. We collected 100 cake mixes, frostings, and muffin tins and all that type of thing, and threw them all together. They put together cards, wore hats, beads, and it was exceptionally cold that day to be able to do that, but they did it. And we handed out 83 kits that day, and then we donated the rest to the food pantry. Then we actually adopted a family at Christmas time of 4 boys, and they did exceptionally well with that. We actually are a part of another group we connect with, the National Junior Honor Society we do a lot with. The Builders Club with Tecumseh comes in and they socialize with the seniors and play cards, and the seniors really enjoy the questions they get asked because they share a lot of their old stories with them, and they were like, wow, what's that? Or their old school cars, or they love the stories, and they actually come in and cater to them at their Christmas parties, their Thanksgiving Day parties, and just treat them like they're kings and queens that they are. So they really look forward to when they do come, and they're actually really surprised, and they're not surprised actually because they know how well behaved that they are and the ethics that the young kids are growing up with these days. And it's nice to see how that they are just exceptionally just blown away by just how they just love to just bring them back, bring them back. And another program that we socialize and bring in, welcome into our center is the program called ATSS, the Adult Transition Service Support Program, that come in and acclimate them to the social skills with the seniors. And they do a route with us on Wednesday with the seniors, and they deliver the T4 route in Tecumseh. And they love it. They learn to socialize with the seniors homebound deliveries. We actually have 7 routes in Tecumseh that we need 7 drivers, and due to the new email system we've got, we are blessed to have an overabundance. You can never have too many, but it's nice to have a lot of volunteers that we have in all of our centers to have drivers and backup drivers and not have to stress to have volunteers, because you love and volunteer and appreciate and dedicated drivers, because a lot of our homebounds, that's all they see. And to have that lookout for them, and the exceptional cards and calls that we get for the thank yous and appreciations we get in all of our centers for what those drivers do for the homebounds is overwhelming. I've got one that is fairly new to us, that she actually recently passed, that I can just, her daughter kept sending us cards, and we appreciate how much it means to her that her mom is getting well-balanced meals, and to know that that one little meal made a biggest difference to her, to know that her mom was getting well-fed, and that she didn't have to worry that her mom was getting checked on by the driver, or that she knew that she'd be okay. That driver was checking on her, and then if she didn't get her meal for the day, that we were checking on her, or that full circle that we would do, that she would be okay. And then if we had a concern, that she would get that call. So that made a big difference, and it means the world just to get that simple thank you from her family or a friend. So, and then the goal was just to be there as a team. When we all work together, it makes a big difference. Even if we didn't have to make that phone call, it still worked out for everyone. So we do work a lot together, and with all our directors, it does make a big difference when we check on each other and work together as a team, because that's what we all stand behind, is our LDA mission statement, enabling all our adults to work together in dignity and pride, to just make sure we're all accountable for each other. So. And the one that recently just passed, her name was Winella Bush, and her service is tomorrow. So we're all getting ready we closed our center down for just so her family goes to our church. She was a beautiful pianist and organist. And I got to actually hear her play for the first time, and it was actually overwhelming. So she is going to be deeply missed. Like, we get attached to all of them, but you know, it makes a big difference. So I do appreciate all your guys' support for all of our centers, and I do speak for all of them, especially mine, that we do appreciate all and respect and all your guys' dedicated support for all of us.
Well,
Even though they're not all here, but I know I can speak for them, especially me.
listen, we appreciate you. Tell me, how long have you been there?
I've been a director for Tecumseh probably 4 years, but I've been with LDA probably 7 or 8. I actually came from the Adrian Center, but I actually graduated from Tecumseh, but when I knew the director's position was open for Tecumseh, I kind of switched up a little bit.
Now, are you in that same building?
Actually, my building is actually getting renovated at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, So hopefully soon.
Oh, okay. They're still renovating it.
They're
Okay.
renovating it. Currently, you are located in,
The Tecumseh Methodist Church.
The Methodist Church.
Mhm.
okay.
So hopefully this year, we're hopefully going to be getting some good news soon. So as soon as I do, I'm going to be planning a big event for my seniors. They don't know about it just yet, so it's going to be a big surprise.
And the other thing, anybody can ask a question. As soon as I'm done, you can do that. You mentioned to me that you were an Air Force veteran.
My dad was.
Your dad was an Air Force
Yes.
veteran?
I
Okay,
got a lot of military background in my family.
okay.
So it's a big thing for my center. I've got 38 veterans in my center.
Do you? Okay. All right, I'm done. Anybody else?
I had a question. So it sounds like your center's doing really well, has a lot of great ideas. I just thought about this. Do other center directors in the county, do you guys come together ever to maybe share ideas that potentially they like what you're doing to be incorporate into theirs or vice versa? Something you see in Adrian, does that happen?
We have a directors meeting once a month, the first Wednesday of the month. We have it at the main office. And then we all talk about and share ideas, and we talk about we vent a little bit, and then we work it out, and then we tell what's going on with the centers, and we discuss what we can do with each other that'll help each other. We all we lean on each other.
That's when you do that meeting, right?
yeah, I do. Chris, a couple of things that I want you to share a little more about. You shared about the group and you used some initials that I don't remember about the young people that come in and learn their social skills. Is that a Goodwill program?
Actually, it's the LISD program, and the goal of this program is to become independent with the ADL activities of daily living, socialization, communication, and the practical several skills daily throughout the community on a volunteer service such as home delivered meals. They clean out coolers and sweep, and they keep them acclimated to social skills so they can learn how to live, or if they eventually ever get on their own. Most of them that come into the center, few of them are like 21, and they're like between those ages, and they just want to keep them, they socialize with the seniors so they know how to keep those skills in line with, just so they don't isolate themselves.
Thank you. That program is, I knew the program was both in Tecumseh and in Adrian. I just can't remember which it is affiliated with. Chris, I'm going to also ask you to help expand to this group to share a little more knowledge about what happens when we have to close, whether it be a weather-related emergency or a mechanical emergency, and we aren't able to deliver those meals. Share with this group what our process is.
Well, us directors will go, or our center staff will go into our centers, and we'll pull our emergency contact lists, and our drivers will first call our drivers and let them know they don't have to deliver for the day. Then we will call our emergency contact list and our homebounds and let them know they will not be getting meals for the day. So we'll call them first. And then if we don't make contact with them, we call their emergency contacts and let them know that they will be getting meals for the day to check up on their mom or the dad or the grandpa or whoever they set the assessments up for.
Right. Our whole goal is that we're not leaving a message. We're making that visible contact with someone who will actually check on that individual. So as Chris said, she has 7 routes. If you even said each route has 10 people, that's 70 individuals that her center is responsible for calling on those days.
I think mine alone it adds up to like 140. Like Adrian has what, 20? And they've got a variety of people that, and we've got 7 centers with Lenawee County.
Listen, we do appreciate your coming.
Good information.
Very good information.
So Chris talked a little bit about our history with us, but if memory serves right, you started in the kitchen or did you start as homemaker?
Well, I applied for the kitchen, but I necessarily wasn't the kitchen. I was a multitasker. I was all over. So I learned positions everywhere because I learned, if you learn just about everything, you're beneficial everywhere.
And that was at our Adrian Kitchen
Yeah, Adrian.
during COVID, where jack of all trades was extremely valuable.
Mhm.
You're a great addition.
Thank you, sir.
That's great. Wow. We're down to your report.
Well, I'm going to apologize now because I started writing things down as to what I wanted to share and I ended up with a page and a half. So hold on tight. Staffing, every meeting I share with you a little bit about what we're looking for in staffing. I have 3 positions really that we're looking for at this time. One is a cook 1 position. And I know that doesn't mean much to many people, but what we're really looking for is that individual to come to the Adrian Center and help us serve meals, clean up after the meals, take care of things, and be a part of that center. Most recently, we had a resignation of our cook 3, which really is our head cook at the centralized kitchen. She has bravely decided to move on to her dream career, and that means leaving us. And so we will be seeking applications after today for that position. Her last day with us is May 1st. We also, I think last time I got to come to you and say, hey, all of our home care positions are full, yay. We have a couple openings, as always happens. We are really looking for a homemaker and a personal care worker in the Hudson, Addison, and Onstead areas. So if you're from that area or know people who might be interested in a part-time job, helping people at home, they don't have to do personal care and homemaker. We are looking for both positions. Somebody who is doing personal care, somebody who's willing to help those individuals with homemaker, which is light housekeeping, grocery shopping, some errands, that type of thing. Looking at our departments, this is random and in no order other than how they came to my brain. Last week, I was able to attend, and a couple of you have mentioned it today, the Blissfield Lenten breakfast, which was many of the Blissfield churches get together, and I was able to speak, and they did a goodwill offering and brought that forward to Daybreak. $468 was contributed, which is an amazing, generous gift. And that is dedicated to offering Daybreak some flexibility in their activity programs. We've talked about the new van. We have it. It's wrapped. It is going to be presented to the world, or at least our community, at Wellwise Services annual meeting, which will happen in June. I do not have that date yet, but I will make sure that you know it if you choose to attend. Our central kitchen is cresting the 6-month mark. It's hard to believe. It feels like yesterday and years ago, all at the same time. But as we are still adapting and learning, but I think we're moving in the right direction and building the connections that we need to be extra successful there. Home delivered meal drivers. Critch touched on this and noted some of the benefits of having those drivers. She has 7 routes. There are 17 that go from the centralized kitchen, 17 routes that come out of that. Our campaign that happened in December and January created a great resource. Chris also noted that she received an abundance of volunteer potential candidates there. We also at the centralized kitchen had an abundance, and we've made great work with that. But for some reason, we feel like we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. So we're still seeking those volunteer drivers. So if you're seeing those ads and that communication in the world, That's why. We're better. We are far better than we were when we started that campaign, but we still have a little bit of room for growth. Our home services team, I think I talked to you about, they have purchased and we're starting a training. I'll say it's online. We are doing it as a group all at the same time, but it is coming web-based. Our first attempt at that was bumpy. Technology wasn't always our friend, but we are learning and getting smarter. So I think it will actually be a really great thing once we get there. Just one big challenge is that everybody has to have a password. So signing everyone up was part of our biggest bump. For those of you who've been with us for a while, you know that Good Friday is a half day. It is a half-day holiday, half-day workday. We utilize that day because, of course, if we were to prepare a meal, we'd get all ready but couldn't send it out because that would be the end of the day. So we utilize that day. We're closed. We don't have services. We utilize that day for our education. This year, our training is happening at the newly renovated rooms in the Human Services Building, which we're excited to use and have the new equipment there. And our focus is actually going to be on bringing back and focusing on what our mission statement is. For those of you who haven't seen it, don't remember it, our mission statement is providing services to older adults, providing services to enable older adults to live with independence and dignity. And so we're trying to get back to that. We've lived for quite some time now in adapting and changing and figuring things out. And it's, as leadership has decided, it's time for us to refocus on why are we really here? And so that will be part of our education and training on Good Friday. My last part under departments is just sharing. Daybreak is in need of a temporary nurse, an RN. We typically contract with the health department, but they too are living through some challenges of their own, and the individual who has been helping us with that piece is not able to provide that at this moment. So we need somebody for probably the next 12 weeks or so. So if you know of an RN that might be interested in a 12-week, very part-time, 5, 7, 10 hours a week, please reach out to me and let me know that as well. A quick look at funding. Currently, our budget showing that we are at 33.45% of our budget in spending. The benchmark would be 41.6. So as we stand today, looking pretty good there. A reminder that we are getting ready for budget time again. So this has our staff looking at personnel needs, long-term and short-term needs for growth. We do that pretty regularly every year, sit down and really have a all-out, throw it on the table, see where it lands. What do we really need? What could we get by with? What would be our dream? What might happen or need to happen today, and what might not need to happen for 5 or 10 years. And this is also our year that we will be completing the application to Wellwise Services for the next funding cycle, which would be 3 years, which would be 27, 28, and 29. So that will be happening this summer, in addition to our annual review with them. So it's going to be a busy summer when you think we're working on our regular budget, our budgets for application, and our vision as to how to complete the goals and the grants. Upcoming events. I'm going to share a lot, but I'm going to also remind you that if you are not already getting our senior newsletter, go to our website, lenaweseniors.org, check on applying for the newsletter. It will come right to your mailbox and share all these great things with you as well. We have the Department on Aging, again, has a team for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. always welcome to encourage people to join us. Happy to have you. The walk is, I think, October 5th. Doesn't mean you have to physically be there. If you want to be a part of the team and help us educate and advocate for that, we'd be glad to have you. But our very first fundraiser is coming up on April 7th. It's the new thing, which I didn't know was a thing, DJ Trivia. It's happening at the Eagles, and I don't have more than that at this moment, but as soon as I have a flyer, I'll share it and email it out to you. April 15th, Hospice of Lenawee is hosting a caregiver education program around Alzheimer's disease and caring for those with memory loss. I have been invited to be a panelist for this discussion. They have 2 sessions. I want to say 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, but don't hold me to that. But I'm sure that will be out both through us as social media and advertisement, as well as through Hospice of Lenawee. April 23rd is our senior resource fair. It is from 9 a.m. till noon at the Adrian Senior Center. It's in conjunction with the United Way Health Check, which happens at St. Mary's. So 2 different programs happening simultaneously, relatively in the same space, in hopes that people will utilize both services. Currently, when I left the office, we had 43 vendors committed to being there. I think we're going to be pretty creative on where things are and how things are going to look, but I'm pretty excited about the diversity of those vendors coming. There's financial, there's funeral homes, there is banking industry, there is, of course, a host of individuals that are direct care service providers. And of course, it's free. There are door prizes and lunch will be available. June 24th, this year again, we are partnering with Hidden Lake Gardens to offer what we're calling a summer stroll, which will be from 1 to 4. And it is an opportunity specifically for recognizing that it is the summer solstice, which is usually noted as the longest day, and that's associated with caring for an individual living with memory loss. So it is going to have some focus around Alzheimer's, some supportive respite for individuals who are coming, and also some great activities that are happening that day. So I hope you will help us share that as it becomes available. And my last little note was just a note that perhaps you don't know. The Department on Aging hosts the Coalition for Older Adult Service Providers. This group meets every other month at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and it incorporates many of these individuals that are attending the resource fair. I think our group probably entails 60 different entities. Do all of them come to every meeting? Of course not. But just the fact that they're getting an email provides that collaboration. Each meeting provides an opportunity for learning and sharing. There is always one topic that we focus on and share information around. And then we always have the opportunity to share what's going on in our individual programs, what referrals are looking like, what challenges we might be seeing in the world of serving older adults. Our next meeting will be in May, and we will be talking about vision, hearing, and dental options, and how older adults are seeking and receiving those services. What's available? How can we help people? What connections can we help make? And so surprisingly, you may show up and say, I work at an assisted living and I don't know anything about that. But what you might bring is, gosh, we have a dentist that comes to our facility, and 3 other facilities may say, gosh, can we have their name? We would love to have a dentist that comes to our facility. So there's great connection and collaboration and just bringing everybody to the table. But those are really important, those connections and collaborations. That resource fair, that although it's supported by the Department on Aging, that's a collaboration of that group. Many of the things that happen with the Walk on Alzheimer's are a collaboration of that group, and many other programs like the hospice event is a collaboration of various programs and service providers. So just sharing that that's a real big thing and a great resource for our community. I made it. Yes, Russ, that's all.
That's all?
That's all.
Holy cow.
I told you when I got going, it was a big list.
I was trying to take notes through that whole thing. Okay. Oh, wow. Moving along down to an existing business, I would like.
Does anybody have questions for me?
I was told we were gonna do that, but we can do it now if you like. Is there any questions for her? Go ahead, Jeff.
More of a comment, the resource fair and the health check that goes along with it. Last I knew, and I'm still on the United Way Board, the numbers in the health check have been going up steadily. And if you know anybody who is even mildly interested, you know, if you don't have an emergency where you can go to the emergency room and you want your senior friend to look into their health a little bit, if they call the doctor, it might be weeks and weeks before they get an appointment. I think it's a $22 charge that day for a good basic paramedic exam, blood work, which is extremely important. And the number's been going up. It's a great thing. So, and then along with the resource fair and all the entertainment that's going on there, you know, the activities, it's a great day. But urge your friend to go and check that out.
The health check, it has no boundaries by age. All are invited, specifically for those who are low insured or underinsured. And if you simply walk in the door, things that aren't, the charge that Jeff mentioned is for blood work and a panel of tests that are sent out, and the results are sent to you. They're not sent to your doctor. You choose to share that with your healthcare provider. But there's also some free screenings. There's always blood sugar, blood pressure. There's usually somebody that I won't say is a dietitian, but has some nutrition background who may be there to speak with you. There's also resources available. The health department is on site and periodically they're able to offer vaccinations during that time as well. So it really is a great resource. They do it 2 times a year in the spring and in the fall.
That's all.
Go right ahead.
All right, Barry, just a couple of questions, and missing last month's meeting here, but then looking from January to February, I noticed that through all of the centers in the county, we're up 612 meals overall for curbside and site. That. So is this normal? People getting out of the house more and going to the centers more, or I'm just kind of curious as to the total number as to how much difference month over month, January to February, there was at where that may have came from.
Okay, I was gonna ask for clarification. So you're doing January to February.
Yep.
Closings affect January. So just closing a couple of days can impact that huge. And February has less days, but you're saying January is less than February. I will also share that
Well-
what we noted was there was some February numbers that were incorrect in last time. So if you're pulling it from last time
Well, it was from the sheet
in the packet,
in the packet. And I just, like I said, just was curious. There was curbside and site meals for all the centers. It was 1964 for January, and here in February's numbers, it was 2576.
okay, I'm living in the future. January's numbers were incorrect.
Okay.
January's numbers are incorrect, and we're gonna talk about that coming up. Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing that I noticed, here really, the home delivered meals, that is increased, but I also see that there was a lot more assessments done. Some either reassessments on that or and 31 new ones here. So are more people taking advantage of this program throughout the county to where that is? And does that potentially create a staffing issue if these numbers continue to increase that way?
Okay, one at a time. One at a time. So numbers appear wonky. Assessments and reassessments are based on, assessments are done for new individuals, either to home care, that could be homemaker PC or respite care, or to home delivered meals. Reassessment says every 6 months, we see those individuals every 6 months. So assessments is their initial one, reassessments. So a little game, 31 people may have signed up for meals. And I'm just using meals as a simple. And 10 of those individuals got them for 3 days and said they're not for me. So it's kind of it's a work in progress. It's a living document. It fluctuates. Does it affect our staffing? It might this month, but that might mean we don't get to everyone in this month. And next month we have to pick up the carryover. Always January, February, and March are our greatest individual add-ons. Think about why that is. January, February, and March are always the months that we see the most illness, hospitalizations. And what happens is that when individuals are released from that care, whether it be directly from the hospital or from whatever home care they may have gotten when they went home and that ends, then they set up services with us to maintain that independence. And so that's why we see a bigger increase during those months of individuals adding on. We always see a big increase after a holiday as well, when people have been home to see their loved one and maybe realize that they need some additional support. So we also see that increase.
Okay. Your benchmark here, you're, down quite a bit as far as percent of budget. Is that due to going to a one supply system, all going through Maury Spears? Do you think that that has a bearing on that?
So what you're looking at is our entire group. We are seeing a difference. It's kind of between 5 and 10,000, depending on where we find it in the moment in time, difference from comparing the 2 years. We also haven't captured some of our true cost in this, that we're still capturing because of the centralized kitchen. We have not yet fully incorporated all of the costs that are happening for utilities for us to be there. So that is yet to come. So that will probably bump us around a little bit too.
A little bit more. And one final question. I noticed on the revenue side of that, at the bottom there, the budget, there was a significant decline in revenue January to February.
Sometimes that's just timing.
Okay.
Wellwise has to have an approval from their board to send that to us. The way the funding has been coming, and Julie, help me if I'm wrong, the way the funding has been coming is it's not authorized in a full year. It's, for most of last year, it was month to month. This year, it's been kind of a couple here, one there. And so they get authorized. Their board meeting is almost most months simultaneous with us. So when it's approved, we won't get it. We just got 2 months worth. So it will show up on next month.
Okay. And like I said,
It's deceiving to say that.
I just noticed it and I thought, seemed like a good question as to everything had been running pretty consistent there. And then you see this big
Yep, we just got
difference from one
2 months
there.
at one time. Also, it depends on when we've made those deposits for contributions. If that deposit for contributions happens to fall on the second of the month, that's not gonna show up.
So the following-
We do try and do weekly, but it depends on when that, when do they come?
That's all I've got. Thank you for the explanation.
Sure.
And getting on income coming in, there is some delays that's been going on. on another organization I'm involved in, we're having the same issue. Where the money is being delayed. We normally get it, we're not getting it on time. It's taking 2 to 3 weeks extra. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now.
Good, thanks.
And then now I'm going to go to that existing. In your packet, if you would look, you're going to see it from Rebecca Borton. You're going to see a letter to me and to the advisory board and to Carrie, trying to explain a little bit about the clarifying of the numbers that we were talking about last time around. So I'd encourage you all to read that. It is almost exactly word for word what you're saying, I believe. And I wanted to draw that to your attention, that there is some discrepancies that go on all the time.
So
It's very difficult to put this exactly when you want to see it. It's sometimes can't do it.
what we noted was that we were pulling numbers at the first of the month. And although they looked right, at a week later is when we kind of close out the month and run those numbers for our statements and for our reports for Wellwise. In that week, there's been some catch up that has happened. Maybe we missed entering a ride or a homebound client, you know, didn't really get those meals. And so we added something, or the routes, maybe we're missing Addison's route sheets. And so they weren't fully incorporated and we missed Addison's numbers for home delivered meals or for a site. So those types of things weren't being noted to have been captured properly. So that's kind of what Becky's letter is saying, is that you asked great questions. It made us go back and look at things. And so we've altered our process as to when those are collected and when we're reporting. So we're going to be more consistent about all of those things will happen from the same time frame moving forward.
Your questions are always welcome. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was just gonna say that, like, looking at these budget and the numbers as they come in month to month, kind of like, I don't know what your car is like, but I have a couple Fords, and you get an instant mileage per gallon reading. Oh, look, I'm getting 55 miles a gallon. Or when you first start out and you're, cold engine, you're getting 10 miles a gallon. The better thing is to look at your tank. And if you get 32 miles a gallon on your whole tank, that's really where you're at. So it's hit or miss to look at a monthly thing. Just like I could, when I'm going downhill with a tailwind, I can get 50 miles a gallon in my expedition, but it all averages out, so. Yeah.
Right. And this is intended to be a snapshot for you in our community to know where we are, what's happening, how many people are we seeing, what are we serving, what does that look like? Recognizing this is not our end all be all for reporting. It's just a snapshot to show. Do we want it to be as accurate as possible? Absolutely. But we also want to be able to share with you each month a kind of a picture of what we're doing, who we're serving, where's that coming from, how's that looking. If there's anything you want to know more specifically, let me know, reach out. If it's something we should be sharing as the whole group, we can do that as well. It's a lot of information. Our budget has, I think, 16 or 17 different categories. And so it's a lot of pieces. It's a lot of pieces to look at and how do they all fit together. And no two are alike.
I'm past the existing business. That's what the letter that I wanted to put in front of you. Down to new business. You have got some new business? Is there anything that anybody want to put new business? If not, we're going to roll along to public comment, and I don't believe there is a public. So there won't be any public comment. And now I'm going to just open it up for any board member that wants to say anything. Want to tell me my tie is looking good? It'll be all right. So go right ahead. Anybody? Go ahead, Terry.
Yes, as an old Irish politician, if I didn't leave you with something. I want to leave you with the probably most famous of all Irish blessings. May the sun rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the rain fall soft upon your field. And until we meet again, may the good Lord hold you in the hell of his hand.
We're gonna miss you, Terry.
Well,
All right. Any more comments at all?
The only other thing I will say is that, my wife did attend the breakfast. And Carrie asked some very good questions. Some of them were tricky. However, I think the group that attended that went away from that knowing that there's a lot of things that they were not aware of that the Department on Aging offers and provides. So I think it was well worth that. And hopefully you would continue to do those kind of things, or someone from your department to let the public know in certain areas throughout the county or where, or however, exactly what is provided through the Department on Aging. It was very well received. You did a great job.
Thank you. I'm going to clarify because when it says you ask a lot of good questions, I did I'll call it fact or fiction response. Is this a fact or a fiction? Read a statement. And that was the response. So yes, some were tricky. But it did help with that engagement, and absolutely my entire team is open and welcome to do that. If someone knows of a group that would benefit from knowing a little bit about more what we do, happy to help that.
Russ, I like your tie. It's a great Windsor.
Thank you
tie.
very much. I like that.
And I will motion that we adjourn.
There you have a motion. I have one more thing to say. Chris, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate you, okay? And Kathy, I'm glad you're here, and I hope you enjoyed your first board meeting. And with that, I will say, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?